Zoom to YouTube. It prepares a live stream setting our meeting to YouTube Live. And so I have a number of backups where I can stream live. And let me share my screen that we can do that. And we have our streaming live, that you can see me. Okay, so let me share my screen now. And let me go to my other part where I have YouTube. I can go to my content. Okay, so I can close this. Let me quit Opera. And then we can see our Zoom. We have a couple people that are here that are new. You know, you have the course syllabus, and under the course syllabus, here's the course syllabus. The only thing that I want to emphasize again is that you need to have a laptop with a camera. You have the Wiley Plus information, and we use Wiley Plus. Some of you were talking about a course pack. I spoke to Wiley Plus in the bookstore, so it should be able to not have a paywall on it. So everyone should be able to do the adaptive assignment. You have here our courses, our attendance, religious holidays. Again, I'll emphasize that any student who must miss the class due to observance of religious holiday needs to inform me before the third class of the semester. And basically, you can read the cloud recordings, and you can see here, the only thing that I want to emphasize that's important is that we have in-person exams rather than online. We meet in the School of Business on October 8th in person, and we meet on the exam November 17th in person. These two dates, put those on your calendars. Make sure that you're not traveling anywhere, and make sure that your family planners have not put anything for you, because you must come to the exam. So you'll see here on the Wiley Plus, what is important is our what's due section. So we're just delaying it a bit on August 27th, since we want to make sure that the people that are dropping and adding the courses, but you should have read you should be reading chapter 1, do the adaptive assignment, take the quizzes, and register for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Financial Times. And if you look at, let me just open this in a new tab. I like to take advantage of everything for us to be university affiliates. So you get these free of charge with your ID, your UMID of the Financial Times Digital, the New York Times Digital, and the Wall Street Journal. I'll be giving you assignments every week on some readings that I think are important, but it'd be good for you also to everyone today, make sure that you sign up so you can see here when you open this link in a new tab, you have, for instance, the Financial Times, you have the Wall Street Journal. I find that they do a pretty good job also in linking up. So you can see here the Financial Times. What I'd like to see on the Financial Times, if you go to their tech section, notice how they break it up into tech homes they put artificial intelligence, semiconductors, cybersecurity, and social media. We'll be covering all of this, and then you get to see here most read, and I always like to go to artificial intelligence because it is changing so rapidly. So you know how the stock market has gone crazy with the US stock hit up. It's been probably the past 10 years or so much. It's gone up so much, and everybody's kind of warning it should be maybe filing down, but you can see here that it's on the stocks. You can see when you're going to the tech, you can see on artificial intelligence here. You can see here, SoftBank now is talking about purchasing some with Intel. Intel has been really far behind. Meta and Character AI probed over touting AI mental health advice to children. I think that, especially in universities, the counseling centers are so overwhelmed that I thought counselors could work well with AI if it's properly used. And there's some warnings, and you can see some of the other ones. Is AI hitting a wall? Agentic AI, which I think is important, that we'll talk about later. So these are the readings that you have. That's important. And here for next Wednesday is go over these readings. One on IT departments that are overloaded with busy work. This is where AI can help. And also the video from Financial Times. You always go to What's Due to find out what's happening. Wiley Reading and Adaptive. In Wiley and Reading and Adaptive, then you can see what's important with Wiley. They do not do a good job with other browsers, so you may get an error message if you use other browsers. So I contend that it seems to be best to use Chrome browser. And in the Introduction to Information Systems, this is the chapter you should be getting. And those of you that are following along can just click on that and see if it works. Here you'll get an overview of the information systems. And after you do the readings, then on each chapter, you'll do an adaptive. You'll see on the bottom, you'll see an adaptive test. And in this case, if I click on the adaptive test, I'm opening up the assignment. And if I look at this assignment, then Marco, we think about roles. Your role right now is the role of the student, and my role is of the instructor. So I should get a different view than you do. Do you agree with me, Marco? So in this case, if I open the assignment, it should be different than when you open up the assignment. When you open up the assignment, you should get just the information that you need to know, which is your grades. My role as instructor is what in this case, Sophia? Am I concerned about just one student or all students in terms of the grade? Sophia?
I would say all students.
All students, right? Is your role to know what other students' grades are, Sophia, in this class?
I don't think so.
No, right? But my role as the professor of this class, my role is I need to know what your grades are in this class. So Sophia, do I have my role as of this instructor for this class? Should I be able to see your grades in other classes, Sophia?
No.
No, it's not my business, right? Maybe whose business is it? Maybe your advisor, right? Is the business. But in information systems, what we'll talk about, what's important is the role that we have. And in this case, right here, what I see right here is what I call, and let me just put this in here, is a dashboard. And in a dashboard then will be centered on a particular role. In this case, it's the role of what? My role is what? Instructor. I'll have more rights than whom? Than student. You agree, Sophia? So it's just the same way in which I'll look at it. So in this case, I know if I'm looking at this, Sophia, I know 5 students completed the assignments, 19 students haven't started. So I know there's some students that haven't even applied to Wiley Plus. So by Monday, we want to make sure that everyone has logged in to Wiley Plus. And then if I look at this part, I see the class. I see each of the sections. It's easy because it's the first one. And then I have the role. If I look at it, I have the students that are in my class. You should not have all the students in your class with the grades. I have the students in the class. So I can see here who has signed up. And Sophia, I see that you've signed up, but you didn't start. Is that correct, Sophia?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so sometimes I get information and I'm not even sure that it's correct, right? So we have to check on it. So you can see I'm showing you the back end, and those that are in blue, Brandon, are you here? So Brandon, yeah, so Brandon, we see that you completed it. So anyone in blue, as you can see here, and Cameron, even though you weren't here last time, you've completed the assignment along with Kendall and Stephen and Layla. So you can see here that there's no reason why you shouldn't get 100%. My idea here in the quizzes and in the adaptive assignments that you go through it, I am assuming in this class, Cam, that everyone can read, that everyone does assignments, and you don't need to hear from me to regurgitate the book. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
In that case, what I want to do is emphasize things that are either difficult or they're new and interesting in the assignments. So that's how I see my role is that I expect everyone to do the assignments on time. And I appreciate it, Cam, that even that you weren't here last time, that you're able to keep up. And that's the beauty, that you always can check it. You can check your recordings that you can see. Okay, and then here is, they're giving me the back end of policies on how they're doing the back end of policies and what we're doing in terms of assignments. We expect the assignments to be done in that aspect. So if I look at this one, I can see again that I'm back to the announcements. You can see the announcements. They'll be updated along the time. And then we have this, and then we also have quizzes. So every time we have the Wiley assignment for each of those weeks, usually, and then we have quizzes. On the quizzes, I give you, they're also on the textbook, I give you 2 attempts. And let me go in this case, I can, if you look at this case, you can see that you can start the exam, and I can go back to the exam. If you can think about it, I'll show you behind the scenes is when I'm in the edit mode here, you can see on, I have control since I am the instructor. My teaching assistants also have control, is that I can edit the test or I can edit the test options. And when I edit the test options, you can see here that I can show the test, open the test, make available to students, make a new announcement that a testing. Let me ask you, Daniel, do you add new announcements for the test, or you keep them always no? Daniel.
I usually don't add the announcements.
Okay. And what is the reason?
Well, it's in the what's due. I don't want to complicate
Okay,
it.
so
and
then
have-
it gets redundant. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But you see that we could have made a new announcement, and I agree with you. Get people to just look at what's due and then go to one place here. At one time, I thought to make it one attempt, but I thought in this case, if I looked at it, Sophia, I thought, why not give it 2 attempts? More than really, this is open book, open notes. You can ask AI, you can figure it out. But just to be able to know, hey, well, I know all the concept dominant. I don't force completion. I don't set a timer. And this is displayed to a certain time. Now, on the exam, everybody's concerned about exams. I understand that everybody is concerned about their grades, even though that this is the part that Daniel knows that I dislike the most about my position is grades, but I know that you're all concerned about it. Let me just tell you about the exams. The exams will be in person, and part of the exam will be like these quizzes. They will be on the university's computers, and you will log in and you will take multiple choice questions that will cover the same material as you have in the quizzes. The only difference on your exams is, guess what? How many, if I think about it, how many attempts, Stephen, would I give you on the exam?
I'd guess 1.
I guess 1, right? So you have 1, and then I have you force completion, and I set a timer. And basically, there's a timer, but if you have a documentation for extended time, you'll have it. The other thing is that's one part of the exam, Stephen. The other part of the exam are open-ended questions. That I will give you a number of open-ended questions before the exam that you can review. Since there's so much material, Stephen, that we'll cover along with the readings, along with the exercises, I like to give you the questions in advance and choose among the questions 2 questions. So you can prepare for those. So that is the idea of my quizzes and test availability. Questions on that? Jorge, questions on that, or that's clear? Clear. Okay, the other part that I have here is I have audit assignment instructions. In our next time, we'll be giving the what's due. What I will be doing in this section, you are the role of what, Jorge? What's your role, student or instructor? Or
Student.
teaching assistant?
Student.
Student. Next week on Monday, I will be setting up another Blackboard site where everyone in the class will have the role of teaching assistant. Do you understand? So you'll be getting on Monday on your Blackboard that you're going to be teaching a audit version of this class. So you'll be knowing the back end, you'll be having all the roles of a teaching assistant, and you'll then do teamwork, and you'll be doing many of your assignments under the audit assignment instructions. We'll start that next week. Daniel, anything else you want to talk about that to the student?
No, but maybe we should do an attendance check.
Okay, perfect. Okay, you want to do attendance, Daniel?
I can, yeah.
Okay, you want me to stop sharing?
I'll just put the code in the chat.
Okay. You know, let's do this. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'd like also for the students to see the back end of how the attendance works as
Oh, okay.
well
I can show it.
for one time. So you want to check in, start checking, and then you get the code. Everybody see the code then, and you'll put it in the chat as well of 2567. So we take attendance at different times of the class. And then if you see that, you want to show them the records just so they can see, Daniel, what they see in
Yeah.
the back end. So you can see, and then later on you can put it in a chat or stay till the end if you have problems of checking in, or you see those. One of the beauties here, Daniel, is that when you have the code then of 2567, and I love it, Daniel, you put it 3 times. 3 times a charm, Daniel.
Yep.
This is your attendance sense of humor, I guess. So, okay, so they're able to see that. Okay, and then the points are done. Okay, so you can stop sharing on that end. Okay. Any questions up to now?
If anyone could not check in, send me a DM and I'll check you in manually.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. We don't need to have
Professor,
that.
I have
Okay.
a quick question.
Yes, sure.
So basically, after every reading assignment, after every quickly reading assignment, there's going to be a quiz that we're going to take on our own time, not during the class.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every reading assignment, class time, you can do that on your own. Why waste the class time? You agree with
And
me,
then
Jorge?
we'll see the due date of the quizzes on what's due, right?
We'll see what?
The due dates of the quizzes.
Yes, every assignment. So if you look at what's due, you see what's due for. We've given a little bit extra time in our first assignment because we're having people drop and add and coming in. You saw some people weren't even in the first class, and I think add and drop is not until next week, especially adding.
Perfect.
So we're giving a little bit of time. Otherwise, every week we will have assignments. Sometimes Jorge will, every time we will have 2 types of quizzes. The Wiley Plus adaptive quiz and the one that is called quizzes. So there are two
So
quizzes.
there's 2 a week, basically.
2 a week of just the quizzes. There'll be more assignments, right? But
Okay.
it doesn't really take a long time to do the quizzes. So this will not be done. Yes, for quizzes, they're not done in class. My purpose of the quizzes, Jorge, it's open book, open notes. So it's just for you to get to know the information, and then you'll see the quizzes and attendance. You'll see there with attendance, what percentage are counted.
Awesome.
So it's a good way for you to be up. But yes, in some classes, I know there's like quizzes in class and we take it. What we do in class, Jorge, and we'll start next week, is we'll be meeting in teams and doing actual hands-on exercises.
Sounds good.
Looking about software, thinking about looking at different ways. We'll have guest speakers sometime coming in with basically assignments using it. So what I like to do is mainly get it hands-on. You can do the readings and the vocabulary, right, and things like that. And through the readings, Jorge, if something is not clear and after you kind of discuss it and look it up, you can also use AI to look it up. If something's not clear, then come to the class when I say any questions. And just like Isa had said, do you even remember the question, Isa, that you had asked me about, that you had a contention with?
I think it was
with operating systems, I think.
Yes, it was. And it was
It was with operating systems. The way I described it and the way ChatGPT in the book described it was different. So things like that of what are operating system and how it works. Does that answer your question, Jorge?
Yes, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And that's what I'm looking for. I look for this class is active hands-on. That's what I see it to be. And basically, the readings you can think about are very dry and big deal then I want you to be articulate in order to understand the concepts. But the main thing, Jorge, is to use them. What is available now? How can I solve a business problem? That's what I'm going to be focusing in on this class. But the first time, I'm just making sure that everybody understands it. Any other questions? Feel free.
Sophia has a question.
Oh, Sophia, how can I help?
So for the quizzes, you said that the questions on the quizzes will be very similar to the ones on the test.
Similar, yeah.
And I was wondering if you will make the quizzes available after we're done with them and keep them on Blackboard so that we can go back to study.
Yeah. What do you think, Daniel? You want to address that? Daniel, you want to address that, or I can?
I'm sorry, my headphones just died for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going
Sophia
to be
was asking
available
about the
on
quizzes.
Blackboard,
Are they available for
and
her
they'll
to
stay there
study?
until the exam time, and then they'll disappear.
Okay. So you'll have it
Let me figure out
available.
my headphones.
Does that help, Sophia? So for the first exam, we'll usually have about 5 chapters, and those will be available for you to review. So even if you got 90 or you got all 100, you want to just review them for sure. You can review them, and they're similar in nature. And then we'll talk about other ways in which we'll review. We'll use other software. Who has ever used a Google Notebook LM? Anyone? Raise your hand. No one? So it's perfect. Google Notebook LM, I'm a big fan of it, and we'll be using it. And it's a great way, Sophia, to even take your material. You can put a lot of the material sources, and it will provide you with study guides, you can even ask it to come up with multiple choice questions. You can ask it, it will give you a podcast. You can go around and just listen. If you can understand, it will also now even give you a slideshow with voices. So we'll be using a lot of study guides as well, seeing with AI. So we're going to be, as I say, we're going to be using our own dog food. So basically, as we'll proceed with that. And the beauty, I think it'll be next week, right, Daniel, is that Google has provided students with an opportunity to get their pro version free if you have a student ID. So, and I'm trying to get the university to get me that deal too. I'm not a student, I'm a professor, and I don't get that deal. So I'm asking the university, hey, why can't I get that deal from Google? So you'll get their pro version. Isn't that fabulous? I think that's wonderful. And you'll get 2 terabytes of storage from Google. So it's important. I also say for everyone, you probably do have it, is you need a separate Gmail account as well, not your right? Because they're using Daniel Gmail.
Yeah.
Do you want to address that?
So in the next week, you're going to have an assignment that requires you to use Zoom, and part of that assignment will be live streaming to YouTube. That process takes 24 hours for you to get approved once you start it, and that's fine because you have a week to do the assignment, but you will need a separate Gmail account that's not linked to the school that you feel comfortable using for this assignment. So it's 5 minutes to make the account.
So you can you can make a new Gmail account, or you can use your own personal Gmail account. We don't care. Also sometimes for Notebook LM and so forth, you need a Gmail account as well, right, Daniel? So
Yes. In fact, I'll put the instructions just for that little part of the assignment in the chat if anyone wants to get ahead.
Yeah, why don't you do that? So what are you going to be putting in there?
Just sign up for YouTube or use an existing one and enable live streaming.
Okay, great. And then we'll look at it. Any other questions? Thank you. They're good questions. So I appreciate you answering it. Also, after class, I'll end a bit early. And if you have personal questions or you want me to go over anything, stay with me. My office hours are after this class. I end early to answer any questions. And if that's not working for you at in the course syllabus, after my second class, I stay and answer any questions. And if that doesn't work out, you always can email me for a separate appointment, or you also can contact our illustrious teaching assistants, especially if you have questions about your grades, you can contact Isa on it. Okay, anything else? So
I
let
put
me
that in
just,
the chat if anyone wants to take a look. It's very
Okay.
quick.
Okay, perfect. All right. Do you want to, let me just stop sharing. You want to go over that, Daniel? Why don't you go over that a bit?
Like how to
Yeah.
enable it?
Yeah, what you put in the chat.
Sure. Just a couple of steps. You need to sign up for a YouTube account. You can go to youtube.com and then sign in and create an account or sign in with your existing account. Then at the top right of your screen, it will say create. You'll choose go live, and then there will be a button in the middle of your screen that says enable live streaming, and that's it. It's very simple. I can't show you that because I've already done that unless I made a new account.
Yeah, but they can go through it.
But yeah,
We'll go
it's very
over it
simple.
next week. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me just share now my screen. And if you look at my screen now, if I go back, I think we did this, PowerPoints. You can see here the PowerPoints of each of the chapters here. And we created the PowerPoints on PPTX and PDF that you can see here. You can see the PowerPoints that you can go through, all the PowerPoints that you can download anytime you want. And what else do I need to go through? And if I go to Wiley Plus, you can see under Wiley Plus, if you look at chapters 1, you can see that this is the area in which you see your book. Let's see if it works. And it should go to the bookshelf where it talks about the chapter where it talks about the difference between data, information, and knowledge. You can see that it talks about the idea of computer-based information systems concerning hardware, procedures, database, software, and networks. And when I think about what are a lot of times the issues now is people. Now, in computer-based information systems, people were basically parts of using the information systems, but also creating the procedures. So once you have procedures, the hardware and databases, you look at the organization, and if you look at the organizations, they have created this chart here where it says business intelligence system dashboards. And if you look at this part, you see that it almost looks like the School of Business in our departments. You see where it has accounting, finance, production, operation management, marketing IS, human resources. And then if you think about it, it has the IT platform and IT infrastructure. So Layla, we have, for instance, an IT infrastructure. Do you have any ideas what an IT infrastructure is, Layla?
I
And if you
don't.
don't, it's okay to say you don't.
I
What
don't.
do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know. Do you have a phone, Layla? So let's take out our phone, and everybody can do that. Take out your phone, and you can even be on, we'll have Layla unmic herself, and everybody else can keep your mic off. And Layla and everyone else, go to your keyboard. And in the keyboard, in your keyboard, there's something called an intelligent, you see my screen, Layla? Intelligent caller ID. Sometimes they call it intelligent AI caller ID. And on the keyboard, what they have is they have something called a vanity phone number. And what I'd like you to call, and everybody can call, Erwin, you can call too, is before you call it, is get out your keypad, Layla, and unmic yourself. And what I want you to do is I want you to call 1-800-CHAT GPT. Now, before you even press the enter on that, Layla, what do you think you're going to get on the other end? If you call 1-800-CHAT GPT.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. So what do you think, Bobby? If she calls 1-800-CHAT GPT, what do you think she's going to get on the other end? Bobby.
I also do not know.
Okay, have you ever heard of Chat GPT?
Yeah.
And if you tell me no, I think you can exit this class, right? You've been under a rock, right? Am I correct, Bobby?
Yeah, I know what it is. You're correct.
Yeah, so what do you think? Give me a guess. Kendall, what do you think?
Maybe it's like something for help, like a service thing. Like if you have
And
a
who's
problem.
going to be on the other end of the help? Basically, this intelligent caller ID has attached a language model. So what do you think, Marco, before she calls?
I just don't know how to do letters.
Okay, do you have a keypad? Everybody look at your phone. Okay, look at your phone. Everybody has their phone right in front of them. Who doesn't have a phone? You all have a phone, right? Look at your keypad. You know where 1-800 is, right? And you have to look for the letters, what? C. So if you look, Layla, under the letter C, what is it? You see the letter 2? What letters are underneath
I
the
know,
letters?
but I'm like holding the 2 and it's not changing into a C.
It's not going to change it to a C. So just press the 2, right? The H is what? What number, Layla?
4,
4. The A is what?
2,
2. And what's the T?
8,
8. And what's the G?
4,
What number, Layla?
4,
4, right? And what's the P, Layla?
7,
7. And what's the T?
8.
Okay. So dial it and put your speaker on.
Okay.
And let everybody hear it.
Hi, I'm ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Just so you know, our conversation may be reviewed for safety. By continuing this call, you agree to OpenAI's terms and privacy policy. So, how can I help you today?
So ask her what is IT infrastructure to explain it.
Say it again.
What?
Explain what IT infrastructure is. Ask her.
What is IT infrastructure?
IT infrastructure refers to the components required to operate and manage an organization's IT environment. It includes hardware, software, networks, data centers, and related equipment used to develop, test, deliver, monitor, control, and support IT services. Think of it as the backbone that supports all your technology needs.
Ask her to give you an example at a university. What's the IT infrastructure at a university?
Can you give an example at a university?
Sure. At a university, IT infrastructure might include servers that host the university's website, databases for student records, networking equipment for internet access, and computers in labs and offices. It also covers software for managing courses, email systems, and cybersecurity measures to protect data.
And then you can say thank you.
Thank you.
And hang up.
You're welcome.
So that's like what? So if I think about it, it's like what, Layla?
There was a lot.
It's like chat. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
1-800-CHAT-GPT is like what?
It's
using ChatGPT on your computer.
on a
But did
phone.
you know that you could call it, Layla? Looks like
Sorry,
you didn't. It looks like you didn't know that you can call it.
Yeah.
So basically, you can call it. So Marco, have you ever use 1-800-CHAT-GPT?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so what they did in the hackathon for OpenAI, they got together the employees and said, what can we do? So somebody said, hey, why don't we use like 1-800-CHAT-GPT that people can call? And and what's interesting is we all have smartphones, but Marco, have you ever heard that there's phones that are landlines, right? That are called plain old telephone systems that are not even smartphones. If you use that, you can also get 1-800, you can also get ChatGPT without even the internet. So this is called a intelligent ID caller, AI caller. We all have phones, right? If I call you, Marco, that phone number I call you in cannot be attached an LLM, a large language model. But there are companies that take phone numbers and adjust them that they can accept a large language model attached to a phone number. That's going to be one of our projects in the class where everybody will get a number that a large language model or a language model or something like a ChatGPT can be attached to it. And then you can customize it for your own business. So how do you understand, Marco?
Yeah, I get it. I didn't know that was a
Okay.
pretty cool thing though.
Yeah, so we're going to be using one of our exercises is we're going to be doing teams of businesses, and the teams then will go to a site where we can then request a phone number and attach, for instance, a customer support. And then we can, without coding, we can add prompts to it to talk about our company, not ChatGPT. So it's going to be then as like a chatbot, but it's going to be trained for our company. So then we can have, and then we can go out to companies, let's say finance companies or human resource or marketing, and basically help these companies. You can have a service helping these companies get a phone number which is attached, and then there's going to be a bot there talking. Now, the problem with AI that I see is that it tends to be doing hallucinations. So what do you think? Have you ever heard of that, Marco? Hallucinations with...
Yeah, when it creates something that's not true or accurate.
Right, but it says it in such an authoritative way that if you don't know the subject area, you don't know if it's true or false. It's doing it less, and it also tries to please. It's trying to be somewhat friendly, so it tries to please. So what I want to train the AI is to say, I don't know that answer. Because many times the AI is trained to give some kind of answer. So I want our AI phone numbers to say, I don't know, but let me find out. And then to be able to transfer the call or bring you into the conversation, say, let me see if some of our folks are available. And it may then try to see, is Marco available? Bring you into the conversation, and I could say, oh, what do you charge for to create a caller ID for my business? And then you would say that maybe in the beginning we'll do it for free for you, and then after a month we'll if you want us, we'll help you for a certain amount. And then based on that, we'll have the AI bot then learn. So the next time somebody says, do you give caller ID services, intelligent caller ID services, it will answer based on what you told it. And that will improve. So in this case, one, in terms of the book, there's so much information right in that chapter even, right? There's so much technology. So what I want to do is to be able with AI to help me. We'll talk about it. In addition, let me share my screen. Does that make sense, Layla? So now you learned what, Layla? You learned the idea of what a vanity phone number means, right? That you can, and that's what we'll try also, Marco, is we'll try to get a vanity phone number, just like 1-800-CHAT-GPT. It may be, you know, like run, you know, I have a number. My cell number I have is the Psych AI. That's my phone number. And what would be nice then is to have that phone number and also have that phone number be attached to a bot. So sometimes what you could do is you could give that number as well as you wouldn't have to have then the person answer, first have the bot answer. When they don't have the answers, then they come to humans to discuss it. Do you see how it's working together? So I want to just show you what we'll be doing in this class and how I want you to work with it when you're going through that part. You may not be able, and let me just share my screen. You can then ask when you're thinking about this infrastructure. It's basically, when we think about the university, it's basically, we're talking about hardware. You see here the personnel. It's basically the people that run it. We'll have some of the personnel from our own IT come to the class. Their services, what they provide, and all of these services they provide is what they call an enterprise. An enterprise is a large organization. So let me just see here if this will work. Call Annie.ai. Let's see if that will work. So in this case, I use sometimes, in this case, is Call Annie. And Annie is a video call for AI tutors that you can allow then those AI tutors. And Annie has also a phone number of call 1-800-CALL-SAM. They were starting with Samantha and they were calling it there. And then basically create your own callers, and then they have Call Annie as well. So I'll have Call Annie, Layla, help me with, I'm going to be using my own dog food, and she'll be helping me as well. So those are the areas going to be doing the class. Does it make sense? Jorge, you make sense now with everything that's happening, okay? So is everybody frozen? Daniel, you see me?
I can see you right here. We're not all frozen.
Good. Okay, they just look it. All right. Anything else? Isa, anything else that I need to, that you want to talk about in terms of the structure of the class that I've missed?
No, I think everything's good. Just paying attention to the what's next and just keeping track so we don't fall behind.
And then we'll try different ways. And then next week, we'll start having the fun where we'll actually be starting to do those hands-on assignments, where we'll look at it. Even if I think about it, let me just share one more thing here. Another one is if I go to zoom.miami.edu, this we can see is the University of Miami Zoom. So everybody, you can try to do that. On your computer, try to do zoommiami.edu. And you can see these are all my classes. You'll be using it as well. And we're using the university's Zoom. And if we look at the university's Zoom here, we can see the settings. And you can see here, there's many settings that you can see where we talk about AI companion, that in the Zoom workplace. And let's see if I can turn this on. Your settings have been allow users to, did you see this, Daniel? Allow users to ask AI questions about the meeting. Are they
Yeah.
letting us do that now?
I guess so.
So this is important for us maybe to look at the Zoom.
I'll add it to the assignment.
The assignment, enable. You remember they were restricting, the university was very afraid of AI, but now, you know, in my aspect, the genie is out of the bag, right? The students are going to do it whether they want it or not, right? The recording, you can see recording highlights, summary, next steps. So you may want to do this. What is this? Okay. Voice recorder with AI. Transcribes and generate a summary. Let's see if we can click on that. Do you see that, Daniel?
Yep.
This is nice. This is new. Create with avatars, create clips that uses your user's chosen avatar to read the script. I don't know, create custom avatars. That's new. They've turned that on, right? In the recording, right? We got that in the meeting. So these are the meeting. Here, we may want to look these up now. Meeting summary, turn on the meeting when the meeting starts, send email notifications. We want to be able to look at that. IP, we don't need. All of this will be interesting to make changes, Daniel, with the TAs, right? And see if that's
Yeah.
going to work.
We're going to go through it this week.
Yeah, perfect. So it's nice to see. You guys can do, but this is what we're going to be doing. We're doing this next week, Daniel.
Yes, that assignment will be posted on Monday,
Yeah,
but it will be
Monday,
due
so we
next
can be able
Wednesday.
to do that. Okay? All right, so it's good that we opened it up to see. Everything's changing so quickly. What I did last semester is already old hat. So we're having to take our assignments. It's going so quickly. We're having to take our assignment from last semester and update them, which I'm excited about. You know, but it's hard to keep up, and that's why it's so wonderful. Any other questions, comments on where we're going? Okay, I'm going to stop formally. What I do after I stop formally and I get your feedback and I get any information is I stop recording. So for my office hours, I don't record and I don't live stream. Because why? If we think about it, Sophia, is what the roles. It's nobody's business, right? To hear your particular issues. So in this case, if I look at it, I'm going to my YouTube, I'm going